Hello and welcome to your first chemistry lesson. From last Monday, we talked about our class are going to be a little bit different. We're going to try something called a flipped classroom. So instead of doing the lessons in class and doing homework at home, it's going to be opposite. We're going to do our homework questions or review questions in school. We also either have a test, a quiz, or a lab anytime you're in person. And then when you're at home, you're going to watch these videos that will go through a program called Screencastify, which I'm trying to learn still, so bear with me a little bit. Screencastify will then upload it to YouTube, and then I can clip it to Schoology. So without further ado, let's get started with our first lesson. Our first lesson we're going to talk about is going to be on our sig figs and math equations. So we're going to learn about what a sig fig is to get started here as well. Sorry about that. All right, so first we are going to start off up here at the top of your notes. There's always going to be some practice problems. That's exactly what they are. They are practice problems. They are for you to do. They are not required. If you feel comfortable with what we are doing, you do not have to worry about doing those problems. They're just suggestions for you. They're in the back of the chapter. So if you go to chapter 2 in your textbook, at the end of it, right before chapter 3, these problems relate to what we are going over in class. To start, we're going to go over some units. Units are going to be necessary for any answer that has a number for our chem class, and it's going to be very important. So we're going to start off with these. I'm sure you guys have all done length, distance, weight, volume in some of your classes. And we're just going to go over these as well. I'm sure you guys have done prefixes. Prefixes is just something in front of the root of the word to change the meaning or to differentiate it. And some of the prefixes you might have heard, King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk. It's going to be the same thing. We're not going to use all of the units, however. And just go over a few of them. The first one that we're going to talk about is going to be our kilo, like a kilometer or a kilogram. Our kilometer is just our abbreviation for K. Like I said, it could be 1 kilogram, unit of mass, equals our base. All our base means is depending on what we're trying to measure. If we're trying to measure distance, then we would use our meters. If we're trying to measure weight, we have our grams. So we'll use grams here. 1 kilogram is equal to 10 to the third base. Our base is just whatever we're trying to measure. So for this example, we're trying to measure our grams or our mass. So it's going to say 1 kilogram equals 1,000 grams. All that base is just tells you, depending on the 3 options we have, what we're trying to measure. Our next one, our next one is going to be our deci, like a decimeter. So 1 decimeter that we have here is going to be equal to 10 decimeters. And notice the abbreviation just goes right before our base unit that we're trying to use. This is also on your periodic table. If you look on the back of the periodic table, in the bottom right-hand corner, right before strong bases, there's conversion units as well. And also, if you don't know what 10 to the third is, you can just plug that into the calculator and you'll get 1,000. So for all of these, our next one, our centi, our milli, and then this last one, it's called an umlau, which is going to be our micro units. These are going to be very, 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 very small units. So if we think of something like a liter, 1 liter is equal to 1 million microliters. I'm sorry, that's not very good handwriting. So basically, that is the start of our units. There are going to be some conversions. You'll need to be able to go from 1 kilogram to how many milliliters that is. The conversion factors are on the back of your periodic table, and we're going to go over how to do that in this chapter as well. So to start off, make sure you know what the abbreviations are, each of our prefixes, and then the base unit that we have as well. Look at the back of your periodic table. Talk to you soon.